All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Come on in the house. Hello, we're going to get it started. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Secrets of the Mind of a Man, where we talk about how men think when it comes to dating, relationships, and love. And I got my man, James Bush, is in the building. What's happening, good brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on? The first Secrets of a Mind of a Man of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Definitely
Yes, sir,
honored.
it is. And happy new year to everybody who's watching. Come on in. I want you guys to come on in and drop the city and state where you are watching the show from. Drop it in the comment section. Let us know where you were watching the show from. And we're going to get it started.
Definitely.
So, you guys, let's get it in. I am KTJ, dating and relationship coach, known as the Love Coach of Atlanta. And I'm doing this show. I'm the creator of this show. And we had to get it in today, you guys. We're not even going to delay much. James, just tell them who you are, where you're from, and what your specialty is, and then we on to the show.
My name is James Bush. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Tennessee, Nevada, Jersey, as well as Kentucky. Talking to people and being nosy is my repertoire. Again, I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee, and I just love what I do.
All right. And we got Elam is coming shortly. He'll be in the studio. He's handling business right now, but we're bringing some more brothers in to have this conversation. So
Definitely.
you guys know what it is. I'm gonna just go ahead and bring it to you. You know what it is. You know what we got to talk about. And James, I think we have to have these conversations. We can't let this stuff just slide by and not talk about it. So we got to have the conversations. And what you think?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of mixed opinions out there, and I think that it is, while everybody does have an opinion, I think also too putting things in proper context, and I think that helps us move the culture forward. Sometimes we go and we say things from a knee-jerk reaction, and because of that, we get all these different schools of thoughts that don't make any sense at all. And for what I've been seeing a lot from things being reported on Antonio Brown, as well as, especially even you, Kelvin, when we was on Clubhouse about a week or 2 weeks ago, and the stuff that was happening with the Franklin and Good situation. There's a lot of varying opinions, and granted, we come on these platforms and these places to have discussions and everything like that, and a lot of us, we don't know everything that has went on, but what I will offer is there's something that could be learned from these stories. Just like we read the Bible and I learned a lot from Moses, who sometimes looked like he was from Memphis. There's a lot we can learn from AB, as well as the Franklin and Good situation.
Absolutely. So you guys, today we talking about Antonio Brown. We're talking about Devon Franklin. We're talking about what's going on in the minds of men, and some of the challenges, some of the struggles that's going on. If you have a man in your life, tell him to tune into this show. If you have a son in your life, have him tune into the show. Drop your comments in the comment section. I would love for you guys to watch this on the YouTube side, so we can put your comments up on the show, on the screen, or you can join the Love Coach Atlanta Facebook page where we can see your comments. We got my girl Michelle Pillow is in the building, stopping in from
what's up.
Marietta, Georgia. What's going on, lady? Thank you so much for coming through. Shout out to a few more folks, and then we're gonna blast away. My girl Ellen from Jersey. She's now in St. Louis, Missouri. One of my classmates. Yes. So let's get to it. We got AB. James, you can jump in a little. You know what? Let's start with Mr. Franklin. We're gonna start with the preacher. Better yet, we're gonna start with the preacher. We got Devon Franklin. As you guys know, we did a show on this just last week. Just last week we did the show, and talking about my man, as you guys know, he recently he had a series. He built a whole platform off of the building of his relationship, the finding of love, that the woman that God sent into his life. He said, "This, behold, bone of my bone." All right, he was all in on this woman, and then suddenly he said, "You know what? I prayed and I meditated, and I believe that God told me to break up with this woman and go our separate ways." And James, what's your thoughts? What was your thoughts when you heard this scenario, and what's your thoughts about this now?
Well, um, it's one of those things where sometimes I don't know any of these individuals per se. I've seen them in person, from conferences and different workshops, and so I'm kind of rooting for them silently.
Mm-hmm.
But what I also will say is that is one of the times when you wish that silence was golden. When
Mm.
somebody get the microphone from him, somebody get his social media from him, somebody do something and just stop talking. No more
Yes.
no more publications, no more none of that. Just stop talking because
Yes.
it's not a good look. So I
You
mean,
gotta know when to talk and when to shut up.
yeah.
And it's not always easy to know, but my man, he got on social media. Let me move on this clip.
Uh-huh.
He got on social media and cried.
Yeah.
My man got on social media and cried. Here's what he said: "I took this picture a few months ago, and I'm not much of a crier. So, in a moment of deep pain and peace, I took the picture, and it captures best how I feel." Now, James, help me out with this,
Uh-huh.
because when I saw this, I was thinking to myself, James, I ain't never took a picture of myself crying. What is it that would motivate a man to take a picture of himself crying?
Well,
What's the motivation? What is he hoping to get from this outside of pity and sorrow? Now, for me, James, here's something that I'm thinking the whole time. The man is an actor.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, and I do get that, but so break down what you just said, Kelvin. You said this man he took a picture. First, he cried. He's crying.
Cry.
He's crying. He's crying,
Okay.
and
It's
then
okay, and it's okay for a man to cry.
he's.
I'm not saying that.
That's another show for another day,
That's
bro.
another show for another
That's
day. But to take the picture
right. He's
crying,
crying. He's he's
and then post the picture,
he's crying.
right?
He's crying. Right. There you go. Like you're breaking it down now. He's crying. And so
Mhm.
then he takes the picture.
Yes.
Then he goes and he posts the picture. He
Post the
uploads it.
picture.
Then he uploads the caption to the said picture. And you have to ask yourself, what is his motivation in doing this? And what is he hoping to accomplish? Because just like there are different people throughout the world who post on social media sites for
Mhm.
varied reasons,
Mhm.
he posted this picture for a reason.
For a reason. It wasn't
In
by accident.
no, it wasn't by accident. It's not something that, and also too, about as of 30 or 40 minutes ago, the thing is still up there, and so
Yes.
it's not something that he posted and he took down very
No.
quickly or so,
No.
and
It wasn't an accident.
it wasn't an accident. So my point being is that there is something he's trying to achieve in this action and what he is doing now, whether that be sympathy from the masses
Gotta be.
or extra prayer, which I believe he's already receiving, or
Okay.
any other thing. My point is that this type of behavior or so, it has me skeptical. Cognitive
Yes.
behavioral therapy teaches us to, it's like you change the thought, you change the action. And
Yes.
so, what are his thoughts about what he's actually doing, or maybe even in the sense of, and no pun intended to what we're about to talk about later on in this session, the Monday morning quarterback. Because
Mm.
after the deed has been done,
Mhm.
what does that represent? What does that look like? Oh, maybe it isn't what I thought it would have been. My feelings. Not saying he doesn't regret anything, or I'm not saying it didn't go out the way it worked or anything like that, but it's something he's trying to achieve in this moment. And
Yeah.
again, as I open the show with you, I said sometimes I wish that silence was golden.
Yes.
Go
Yes.
off,
Yes.
get the healing that you need.
Listen, you gotta get the healing that you need, but you get the healing that you need on the backside. So
Yeah.
this, James, this is what I said the other day. I would have no problem with him sitting up here crying,
Right.
taking a picture of himself crying. I wouldn't have
Right.
no problem with that. I wouldn't
Right.
have no problem. I wouldn't even have a problem with him saying that the Lord sent him this wonderful soulmate that he, and then the Lord told him that, you know, he should break up with the soulmate. Like, I wouldn't have had no problem with any of that, right?
Do you? He was. Hold on, low coach. Hold up, low coach. Do you know what that would do in Christendom?
Oh my
If he
goodness.
was to actually publish and say something like that in this day and age. I'm not talking about where when Reverend James Cleveland was on the piano keys or anything like that.
Mhm.
I'm talking about in this day, in this age, and social media era. You know how much he would get burnt for that, and
Mm.
so it's crazy. I mean, I
It is
definitely think it's
crazy,
crazy.
you know. But listen, so what I'm saying is I wouldn't have any problem with any of that, right? If
Mhm.
you didn't write a book and take all of these lifestyle pictures of you guys are high flying and sailing high and all is gravy, all is good, right? And then suddenly, just without warning, suddenly,
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
hold on. Okay, sorry about that.
There we go.
Look, suddenly he's taking picture. He has this issue that bam, just like that. Now there's a sudden divorce, right? James, if there was a camera like he shot the one and where he was praying at the Grammys that year or whatever that was, the awards, the Oscars, right? If he took that same camera and said, everybody, I want y'all to pray for me and my wife. We having problems, we struggling, we having difficulties, and this thing is circling the drain. And we have brought y'all to from point A to where we are right now. And we want to be completely honest with the people about who we are and what we deal with, right? So you're not just showing the highlight reel, you're not just showing how beautiful things are, how wonderful things are, right? You showing the tough times, the difficulty, the struggle. We just can't. Here's a picture, y'all. We just walked out of marriage counseling. we just finished with the good pastor from the Seventh-day Adventist church, and he sat down with us and counseled us, and we asked y'all. We are asking for your prayers to get through the things we're getting through, right? If it didn't work, we would all say, you know what? They gave it an honest shot. And this is an honest person who is going through an honest situation and not trying to profit from their pain. Because this guy with these tears, right? James, this guy with these tears, he's going to come out with a book called Healing.
Oh,
you just
gosh.
watch. You watch, James. That guy is coming out with a book called Healing Through the Storm. You watch.
You know, it's amazing you mentioned that. 2 points real quick. One, Kanye West has a statement. He says, man, it's hard to be humble when you're stunting on a Jumbotron. And when you were at the King of the Hill, when you're in places and sitting in seats that you are, when you are represented or you are purported as the authority on a matter or on a subject.
Yeah, man.
It's very hard to sit in those uncomfortable seats and become vulnerable about said issues.
Fact.
Now, I'm going to say this also, Kelvin, because me and you, we probably gonna disagree on this. I believe now. Book came out. What 5 years into their relationship? I believe somebody probably was blessed by what they were talking about.
I believe it.
I believe somebody. Not it didn't have to be a whole lot of people. Somebody. Because sometimes whether you realize or not, there's one in every bunch.
No, you're right. There were a lot of people probably blessed, but because they're giving a message that nobody is really necessarily talking about, and that is the message of waiting until intimacy, waiting for intimacy until marriage.
And I get that, but what makes this so different is that when we're given so much insight into intimate details in the forefront, but as far as when the demise comes,
yes, it's very quiet. It's very quiet. Yes, and then you post a picture of yourself crying. My girl Carla, I got all the therapists checking in.
Oh goodness! There's Carla.
Yeah, okay. My girl Carla said, "Who takes a picture of themselves crying?"
Oh gosh.
James, who takes a picture of themselves crying?
I haven't done it yet in 40 some years. I haven't.
My man said, let me finish reading this guy's statement. This guy, the man said, "I know we are starting a new year. We are starting a new year, yet I don't wish you a happy new year. I wish you a happy true year. Let the church say amen." James, what is he doing? This is that, listen, this is that stuff right here, James. This is what I'm talking about. My man got a rhyming sermon. He's sitting up here crying, taking a picture of himself. I'm not buying any of it, James. Not one bit of it. This guy's coming out with a book called Healing Through the Storm that he's going to hope that it's going to go viral. He's going to be the number one on New York Times list, on number one on the list.
Oh, man.
I guarantee you this, my man is a director. And he said, look, James, he picked up that phone and he hit and action.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Kelvin.
He hit that button and said action.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's word salad. It's word salad a lot of times. It's like I had a comedian. He was talking about this not too long ago. He said when you in church or so, and they say at the end of the day's gonna end, and we all in church. What the hell does that mean? It's like what
at the end of the day, the day's going in.
At the end of the day, the day's going. I'm like, what the hell? And it's just one of those things that's embedded in that culture or so that you just gotta be careful about, man.
All right. We got the good brother Elam King is in the building. You not coming on camera, good brother?
Hello?
Are you with us? What's going on, good brother?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, listen, I'm trying to get my lighting together, so give me a second. What's going on, fellas?
We're doing all right, man. The king has come.
Hey, listen. What up, Jay? Hey, listen. Anytime you call me, sir, I'm there. What's up?
What's happening, man?
Y'all want to get ignorant tonight? Let's go. Okay,
what we going with it, brother? We going.
What we talking about?
Man,
we going with it.
Go sit. When he get ready, Kelvin, you got to set him up, man, for this one because I know he got some thoughts on this brother.
So I'm trying to come with it off of my cell phone because for some reason my computer doesn't StreamYard very well, so that's why I'm trying to reset it up on my phone. So y'all give me a minute, but I'm still listening to y'all. I'm just resetting some stuff because I don't know what it is for StreamYard, but go ahead. What's up, fellas?
Well, look, you jump in when you're ready, bro. But so we on this Devon Franklin, right? And so what is it about this situation? Like, listen, I've been around I've been around here a while, man, and I done seen every dog and pony show. And I'm telling you, this is one of them. This man taking a picture of himself crying. He's a director, he's an actor, and he knows how to play this role.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying any of this. I think it's all for publicity.
Well, here's the thing. I think that the bigger portion that we might want to look at is that let's just say that it is for publicity, or let's say that it's not. Whatever let's say that it is for publicity. Let's just say that real quick. The damage that this does for marriages without bringing a level of understanding of, I think that there's a certain space to whereas when you choose to want to get married and walk around and write books and stuff like that, there's a level of accountability that you have for the public. And so, because there's some people who have been sitting up saying, "Oh my gosh, if Megan and Devin can't make it, then I can't make it," right? And so, if you want to do stuff for publicity, if you want to do stuff for whatever, it's kind of like, well, no, you actually need to come back to the public and have a conversation because
Right.
once you want to start parading yourself all out here, you're experts or whatever. Hey, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Help us understand so that we can make better decisions. Because otherwise, you have people out here that are just kind of like, well, if Devin and Megan can't make it, then I can't make it either.
Fact.
And here's the thing. Remember back in the day when Charles Barkley said, "I didn't ask to be a role model."
Right. I am not a role model.
I am not a role model. And you know what? That sounds good, but dude, like you don't want to went out here and want to be, want to get this money in this. Yes, you are a role model, and yes, you do have a responsibility.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you are. And so Elam, Elam, look. This is what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with a man who falls, a man who has a difficult time. Like I don't have any problems with any of this. My problem is for you to be in the spotlight and in the sunshine with your phone up when things are going well, and then things go down the tubes without any kind of notice to any of the people who are following you, and
Right.
and now like without any kind of explanation. So I feel like if you sell the books and
that's where I was going with it. If you sell the books, if you sit out here and do all this, you are accountable, dude.
Yeah.
And you could say, "I don't owe nobody any explanation." You could say that, but it's no differently than doing surgery.
Right.
You open somebody up, it's your responsibility to close them back up.
That's correct.
Okay. You open people up with the weight. My daughter, who she read that book. She met a boyfriend off of reading that book, right? Now they didn't subsequently work out, right? But she met a boyfriend off of reading that book, right? And so you open people up. And at some point, I'm not saying that hey, get your own mental wellness together.
Yes.
Okay. But at some point, as quickly as possible, you owe an explanation. Right? If I am a doctor and I prescribe you Adderall and you really needed an antihistamine, I'm accountable.
Right.
Look, now everybody would say, "Well, yes, Elam, that makes sense." Well, yes, I prescribed a great marriage.
Yeah, man.
Okay, and I went over here, and people are human, and maybe Megan just, I don't know, like the rumors that are out there, didn't want to have a baby, right? Or didn't want to change her body for, maybe, okay, well, you owe an explanation. Now, you don't have to do it either.
Elam, listen,
Go ahead.
if she had said that and they had got on camera and said, "You know what, we having an issue about the pregnancy."
It's
right?
okay. It's okay.
then the people can get with you. The people can ride with you, and they can say, "Wow, these are actually regular people,
there you go.
Not superheroes." Right? So yeah, look, we got a couple comments in the comment section. My girl Sherry, look, I'm getting all my therapist friends checking in. My girl Sherry said, "Let's normalize that a man crying, Kel." She want me to normalize a man crying. She said, "It's the year of the sensitive man."
No, Sherry. No.
No. See what I'm saying? And see, now I would love to have her come on and say, what does she mean by that? The year of the sensitive man. Because watch this. Men have always been sensitive. We've always been sensitive. And guess what? Our sensitivity does not take away from our masculinity either. That's the way that it was taught to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the same reason why did you tell your son don't cry like a girl and stop being emotional and stop being so sensitive. That's the same son that you raise one day that's going to have a woman that's going to want him to open up.
True.
So you cannot have both. So you've got to pick a struggle. And I'm not saying to raise sensitive boys. I'm not saying to raise hardcore, dudes at the same time. I'm saying that there's a layer that we've never talked about.
Fact. My man Kenneth Tolbert, my boy, he said they did Christian, Will, and Jada.
Oh man, come on!
They got all the smoke today.
Oh man,
he said crying men are in. All right, so my cousin Michelle Owens from South Carolina, she said I believe it. She riding with the crying preacher. She said I believe.
Yeah, we can't look at that. That was a lot. We don't know what that was for. Was that genuine or was that for the gram?
I know he said Elam. I know one thing. He said and action and hit that button.
Right. And that's what kind of clouds the whole thing because you don't know whether it's something that he really meant or not.
Right. Look, my man, my boy Marvin Byers, he like that and action. All right, and Kenneth Tolbert, he said, "Crying men are in. Crying men are in." So let's investigate this a minute, and then we're going on to we're going to talk a little bit more about AB. We're going on into the AB story, but Carla says a person with a lot of narcissistic traits, that's who takes a picture of themselves crying. James, what you think about that?
I'm gonna have to talk to Carla about that later. I mean, no. You know what? I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad she did though, because in that moment, there are a lot of people who they don't necessarily suffer from narcissistic personality disorder or anything like that, or they have them, but they do have traits, that resemble that a narcissistic person.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes we get it so confused in our society. Just because a person is an asshole doesn't mean they're a narcissist. Just an asshole. Just because they're self-absorbed does not mean that they're a narcissist. They're just self-absorbed.
True.
And I'm glad that she put it in that type of terms, and because sometimes people, they can read over things very quickly and they can miss the whole point of what someone is saying. Again, I go back to what I told you in the beginning of the show. There was a reason that he said and action and shot the the crying face.
Yeah,
and posted the caption and pretty much there's a reason. Now his exact reasons for it, I don't really want to ask him or anything like that. I don't really like it, because would you even get the truth in that matter? No, probably not.
No.
But the fact is that it's here. We're watching it. He didn't take it down, and it says a lot. It says a lot about the situation. It says a lot about, even I guess the last 5 years of what they actually have been doing. We were so, again, as Elam was saying, we're so open to have these conversations about intimacy and things along those lines. But when it comes to the other items within a marriage or so like that, we remain very quiet. We give the PC answers, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. James, you said something a while ago that stuck with me even to this day. You said something along the lines of you said people are throwing away houses because they have broken mirrors. And that stuck with me. Like I was riding down the street, and that phrase just stuck with me. Share some thoughts about that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, sometimes it's some of the things that people encounter in relationships or so. I mean, now granted, yeah, I have been divorced or so like that. Yeah, stuff happened. But being someone who does this for a living and just sits there and listens, because I told y'all I'm nosy. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to one person lament about a situation, and the other person, they lament, and there's no communication, there's no connection. They act like they haven't really talked in about 6 months to 6 years about the said issues. They develop relational patterns that don't actually aren't congruent. They don't work together. And you say to yourself, if y'all just go and back to the drawing board and find some even plane to get a pun. Not saying it's going to save the situation, but it's a tool that you guys can utilize to work on. But if you don't want to use tools, then yes, things will escalate. And it's funny how, again, when we're using the mirror example, it's funny how you can have a house that's immaculate, that is beautiful, and has all these wonderful features, but every window is broken.
Yeah.
Every mirror is broken because they have not taken the time to address those situations. And so now when you're sitting in here, you're looking at this type of situation, because something that you have put on your Clubhouse about, was it 2 weeks ago, when you were reading the timeline of it, and we were saying something along the lines of, she wrote a post.
Yes.
On this time.
Yes.
At this moment, about how she felt about that guy.
Yes. She said, I will give, she was like, she was pouring out her soul to this man.
Right. And so this was what was happening.
Life and the next.
In this life and the next.
That was deep, buddy.
Very deep. Very, very point. Very powerful. But then all of a sudden, before the year comes in, then this comes in. And so my thing is that there were a lot of things, or maybe not even a lot. There were things within that relationship that were not addressed. They were not seen to. They were not worked upon. And sometimes, as we say, people, not even just celebrities, people that work a 9 to 5, or people that are in this time period of inflation, who have to work 80, 90 hours a week, it will definitely affect a relationship, to say the least. Yeah, like my man Elam pointed this out to me a long time ago, and I use this everywhere. He said something about, we were talking about athletes and sports stars, and we said that if you are marrying someone who plays professionally in the NFL, he has a job from July to hopefully February.
Correct.
Do not ask him to go to Magic Mountain on a Sunday with little Johnny, because it's not going to work. Because he plays on Sunday.
Correct.
There's another illustration of when you have someone who is a medical professional, a surgeon or so. They have responsibilities, duties. There's not a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, Elam, you want to help me out with this, because man,
I'm like, like in Double Dutch, you like trying to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's really where it is. Because I literally, the reason why that I was late to tonight's call, of course, I do marriage coaching as well. And so I was actually on the phone with a new client, a wife or whatever. And long story short, what I like to do is it's funny that you use that analogy, James. That's what I talk about. It's like building a house, and they have been together for like 20 years.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of times people get a little confused, because they're like, we've been together for this amount of time, so we should just know each other, right? And so we should just, whatever. And it's kind of like, no, okay, you don't know each other. And let's tear this down. Let's reconstruct, right? They've been together for 20 years, but guess what? For every year, and I want anybody who's listening, I want them to make sure that they pay attention to this. For those who dare to want to be great and walk into, counseling and speaking with somebody, third party or whatever case may be, just because you start doing that and you're now hitting reset, that's not going to change anytime soon. For every year that you've been together, it can take up to 30 days to see a change in one thing. So let's think about this. If you've been together for 20 years, that's 20 months.
Yeah.
Right? Now, remember, your patience is already short. You're already at your wit's end. This is the reason why that ongoing counseling is so important, and not just, 2 minutes left in the game and you're down by 2 touchdowns and neither one of y'all are Brady, and you want to call James and see that he going to be throwing the touchdowns for you. No, you're going to have to you got some time to put in right now. Right. And so maybe you don't even understand that this person is quality time, to James's example, right? You're a quality time person, but they work, and so they're not able to give you that time, but you feel like that they're just a nice person, and, you guys have been together, so they should just change their time up. But if they're walking in their purpose, should they really change up their life for you? Did you check on that before you got married? Do you just think that that person is supposed to change their time just because they love you? This person works at a hospital. They're saving lives, but you want them to go to little Johnny's recital at 7 p.m.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
That's the problem, right? And so is it that he don't want to save the lives, or is it because he's not there for little Johnny? Which one is really wrong? And which one did you establish as an expectation before you said I do? There's a whole bunch of people that just got engaged on New Year's Eve, right? I do. Oh my God. I said yes. Okay. How much pre-marriage counseling have y'all done?
None.
Before you said I do to a $20,000 ring. Sir, before you bought a $20,000 ring, do they really qualify beyond the booty, beyond the finances, beyond the teeth? You know what I'm saying? Are y'all friends? Because COVID just showed a whole bunch of people that if you're not friends, you're not going to make it.
Right.
If you're a spouse, you're not going to make it. If you're not a wife or a husband versus being a spouse, those are two different people.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Devin and Megan, I think Megan's a great person. I met her individually. I think she's a nice person or whatever case to be. Devin, I followed him and looked at his stuff or whatever case to be. You can be two great people. Guess what? Oil and water are two amazing substances.
Yeah, but they just don't mix.
Individually,
right?
When you put them together, there's these little bubbles. And then you ever try to pop one of those bubbles? Like it segments out into more bubbles, right? Because it doesn't mix.
Right.
Individually, water's necessary, oil is necessary. But when you put them together, they don't mix. So just because two people look good and they got great resumes, they don't mix.
Right.
And sometimes it pops out 10 years later. Sometimes it pops out 15 years later. Sometimes it pops out in year one.
Fact. Hey, let me get a couple of people in on this conversation, you guys. Hey, I need y'all, go ahead. If y'all watching the show, I need y'all to hit them thumbs up. I need y'all to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I need y'all to check out, give the show some support here. And my frat brother Wesley, he said, I think he mispronounced it. He said it's sad that a man who cry, show his emotion, is well balanced and will normally live and not dying from stress, heart attack. Remember, Jesus wept. So he's essentially, I think what he's saying is that we should normalize men crying, and he's riding with the man and just even using Jesus wept. My man using scripture to back up homeboy with the pressing the button. James, what you say?
That's another show, Kelvin. That's another show.
I'm about to go a whole hour right now. I'm sitting here trying to keep my composure.
That's another show, Kelvin. We can look at the story of Lazarus, and we can get a lot of little information and glean from that. When he first, but never mind. What's the next comment, Kelvin? What's the next comment, man? Go ahead. What's the next comment?
Yes, sir. So look, my boy Kitty said this is going to be a Tyler Perry play. My man with his crying self.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I gotta go look at it. I didn't see it. I mean,
it's hilarious, man. But look, let's get into the next story, y'all. We got my man AB. This is a good picture of him holding his head because he a little confused. For those that don't know Antonio Brown, he is a wide receiver. He's a highly skilled NFL player. He's played on several teams, and he was a celebrity. But he was always in kind of a part of the problem. He kind of created a problem everywhere he went, and that problem, made him somewhat being seen in the league as toxic. Right. And no team wanted to have anything to do with him. He did something. He played for Pittsburgh. I can't remember what he did. y'all remember what he did in Pittsburgh? What was that antic?
He said that Roethlisberger was racist. So that was one of the things that he said. I know that.
Yeah, just creating a problem, right? And so they got rid of him. and no team really wanted to mess with him. But Tom Brady, I think, talked Belichick in New England into bringing him out, and I think he did. What did he do in New England? He did something in New England as well that created a problem, and they let him go. And so he goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks, and because Tom Brady stood up for him and put in a good word for him. Look, let's be honest. The only reason he's playing there is because Tom Brady stood up for him. Right? So he stood on his boy's name, and he went out on Sunday and did this. This is what he did on Sunday. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians, he talked about it. He said Antonio Brown no longer a bunk. My man goes out into the field, takes off his uniform, takes off his shirt, throws his jersey up in the stands, throws just
yeah, he showed out.
Yeah, he just went off. And nobody has any idea exactly what happened to the man. Some people are saying that it's CTE. Is it James? Am I saying that right? Is it CTE?
Yeah, CTE. Yes.
CTE, which is kind of a brain injury that football players often are now beginning to be seen as having. Some people just we just don't know. So let me get y'all opinions on this. Let me hear you. Elam, you got it, bro.
I got my hand up. Am I selected?
you in, bro. You in.
Okay. Long story short, I want to say that I know we're being candid about it, but Meek Mill said this last week on a Twitter, last Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. Let's normalize Black people having counsel. Let's normalize, and so that's what he said. Let's normalize Black people being in council because it wasn't cool back in the day. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: if Antonio Brown had a problem yesterday on one of the world's stages on a Sunday afternoon,
correct.
If Antonio Brown has a problem, it's actually okay because we all have a problem.
Correct.
The only difference, in my opinion, is that we saw Antonio Brown's problem yesterday.
Yes, on full display.
Well, what's yours? So before anybody passes judgment on Antonio, yes, we know, throw it up and stop. I've seen the video a couple of times. We were like, dang, but we don't know what happened on the sideline. Right? You don't know what that communication was. People were just like, okay, he had 333,000 for 8 more catches or 1 more touchdown or these different stats that exist or whatever. What was the conversation on the sideline with him? You could be like, oh, well, he makes millions of dollars and he should just sit down. Is there a level of accountability that exists there for him? Yes, there is. Same thing with Devon and Megan earlier, right? You're choosing to be on the stage, so we get it, right? But at the end of the day, as we're kind of sitting down and looking at, like, before we want to go on the condemn route, well, what's your problem? All right, James. What do you have going on?
James, you jump in. What's your thoughts about Antonio Brown and this whole scenario? What's your thoughts?
Well, number one, he's still a man. And I think a lot of us, who hasn't, especially men or women in our society today, who hasn't wanted to just walk out of their job and
snap off
and make a grand exit. Because, no, I'm not going to go quietly into the night. No, I'm going to do something, man, that's going to make y'all remember me. And Antonio Brown strikes me as a type of individual who will make a name or a scene or something just because of his personality.
Yes.
And it's what I expect. I mean, if you followed his career, it's what we expect. But also, too, going...
Should you?
Okay. A person left to their own devices, who's following their own moral compass, you can expect just about anything You know,
Yes, sir.
the outcomes are endless. It's something
Mm.
that Elam just said in the last segment when he was talking about it takes a significant amount of time for a person who's consistently in therapy to actually see the change.
Mhm.
But if that person is not in therapy, working on themselves, trying to better themselves from said issues, if
Mhm.
all their money is going to lawsuits
Mhm.
and fighting off other little different perils of situation, yet that they created, but they're still out there,
Mhm.
Mhm.
then what time does that leave for them to better themselves in the end?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so from a real perspective, bringing it back to Main Street, because
Mhm.
there are a lot of people who have real problems, real issues, and don't nobody care if you walk off your job.
Right.
We just watching this guy that catches passes on Sundays and Saturdays and Thursdays and Monday nights. See how the NFL done that?
Yeah. Look,
We just watching
my team, the Eagles, played on a Tuesday night last week.
Tuesday night. Jeez, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think that we have to kind of find that compassion, find that grace to say, you know what? If I was in a situation like that, I've walked away from some situations.
Yeah.
I've interrupted and I've left some people that I shouldn't have. I was emotional. I was impulsive. You know, there's a lot of people that are sitting in maximum security right now who pulled an Antonio Brown. They just used a gun instead. And so
Okay.
we gotta be careful about that.
Let's take it a step further. Let's just real quickly during the summer when we had the Olympics. Let me tell you how this could have gone. Right when we had the Olympics, and so what? I got the recent essence. Who y'all see that? Who that? Who that? Right?
Simone Bot.
Okay. So what does she do? Right? She said, I can't do it. I can't do this. This is Olympic medalist. I can't do this. And because she was able to hold herself accountable to that, people were able to give the. And so here's the thing: everybody doesn't have that level of education to be able to be like, I can't do this right now. So if your education is not to that level, you might get the show out, take the shirt off and all this and that. You're gonna get that, right? As we're evolving through this, like this mental health area is something that's going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue to even the Japanese girl, the same time that she did it, right? She was just like, the tennis chick, I'm done. I can't do this, right? And how many people probably slam them? Oh my God, you're making millions of dollars, and how could you just not perform on? Yo, they didn't. But men have not been taught, particularly black men, because we have a whole nother stage of area of just not being able to express ourselves and understand ourselves. So you know what? My prayer is that somebody wraps their arms around him and gives him that level of support that's necessary. But damn it, just because the man is making millions, you cannot expect him to still be on the same level. Now, should he have done some work on it? But how this man has done some things is how he has done everything.
So here's what I'm thinking, Elam and James. I want y'all to go with me on this. I agree with everything y'all just said. I agree with everything you just said. I agree that the care for your mental health has to be priority, right? Nothing else matters beyond that. Like, you got to take care of that, right? At the same time, Simone Biles, this gentleman, and I don't know if y'all remember, but this season, the Falcons, their season went down the tubes on Sunday, right? Because their top receiver decided that Calvin Ridley, their top receiver, said, I can't do it. My mental health is not there. My man took the rest of the season off, and that was pretty much it. He did what maybe AB should have done, right? But here's what I'm going to say to that.
And what was it? Is he getting any backlash on that?
Oh, he got some, but like people, it's soft backlash, right? Now, guess what? Now that the season's over, I think now we're going because they gotta assess, and it's gonna be some conversations. I think yes, you have to attend to your mental health, but I think you owe the people, you owe your bosses, the people who gave you a check, right? You owe them something, right? And yes, you have to go take care of your mental health, but the Falcons are going home right now. That's it. Because their chief receiver was absent. Either you're present or you're absent, and for whatever the reason is, right? You're present or you're absent, and so I think along with the support for these people getting the mental health they need, there still has to be a penalty that these people have to endure because of the timing of which this whole thing happens, right? AB can never play in the league again. That guy's finished with the league, and he was kind of on a short leash as it was, and with this, he has destroyed any future that he probably could ever have in the NFL. Right? Yes, he did what he did, but that's pretty much it for him. So what I hope what you're getting the message that what I'm putting down is that there is a consequence even when you're doing the thing that is right. There's still a fallout. Look, the people still, there's somebody who put a lot of money towards Simone Biles, right? Biles, who didn't get their money. They didn't get their money back, right? So what happens after the thing is over, after you go take care of yourself, then what? Are those people owed something? The people who invested in you, is there something that they're owed because of that? So just share. So what do y'all think about that?
Let me jump in on this one. Well, along those lines, Kelvin, is it something that, as far as, and I don't want to make it a gender war, but that maybe males are expected to trudge and go along and to be grunt work and move even past their feelings, past their emotions, past their mental health to get the job done, while maybe ladies, they don't have to answer to that call because that's not the expectation of our current society. Our current society may give them the pass to go and take your time, take your healing, take your not, and call it. Don't get at me on this one. So and they're getting that pass to do so, while men, we're seen as hunters, gatherers, warriors, provide. And so it is on us by charge as a man to go out there and do this regardless of how you feel. Regardless of, man, what pain you may be in physically or mentally.
It's tough, man.
It's tough. But that's the society that we live in. And I don't think a lot of people really want to open that box because what it says a lot about us and how we view us.
Okay. All right. Elon, what you think?
I just looked at the time and I said, I'm about to go for like 30 minutes. So I don't even know how I can even condense this moment down. But I think that I'm just going to have to echo just what James's point. I mean, here's the thing. What's the best way that we can put this? Like, the people have to first understand that there's a level of self-awareness that we don't have. And until we're able to understand ourselves, it's very difficult to understand somebody else. So let me give an example. I understand, James and I have had multiple conversations, right? So if James right now told me that, today he, I don't know, did something crazy or whatever case would be, I would be able to sit there and have a conversation with him without judging him, of saying, you know what, because I have an area for me. So I'm able to extend him a grace because I need that same grace for my area. I am 5'11", 100, and I range between 175 and 180 pounds, right? So I'm pretty slim. I'm a sexy dude. Okay. So, So, I can look at a brownie and not eat it. I can look at a piece of cake and not eat it. I can look at, pizza is my favorite. I can look at it and not eat it. But guess what? I know people that can't not look at food and be like, I'm not going to eat that. Right? So 10 years ago, I wasn't able to say and understand, and for the sake of just for the moment, why your fat ass is eating that right there? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you eating it? I don't understand why. That was my mentality before. Now I'm able to look at stuff and say, oh, okay, this is what's difficult for you. Okay. Me telling a woman, no, I don't want the booty was difficult for me. Somebody might look at me and say, what do you mean? What about STDs? What about attachments? What about that's not right? What about? Well, no, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at that the same way that the person that's about to go eat something that they don't need to eat is looking at it the same way. So I'm able to receive other people's areas that are difficult for them. And my challenge would be to anybody who is looking at what somebody is walking through is that what are you walking through? What are you dealing with? And when you're able to really understand that and unpack that, that's the reason why that I'm able to, if either one of y'all came out right now on this phone and said anything that was difficult for you, I can embrace you because I have my challenges too. So most of the people who are passing judgment on what other people are going through right now, most of the time is because they don't know what they got going on.
True. But Elam, so at the same time, I heard everything you said, and I'm with it. At the same time, I think we have to have a place where we hold each other accountable, right? Because even if we understand what the person did, like we still have to sharpen each other's swords, like we sharpen up, we become sharp because iron sharpens iron, right? And I think there's somewhere there can be an imbalance where we'll be like, oh no, it's okay to just take your uniform off in the middle of the. Yeah, he was just going through some things, and I can ride with him. He's got the right to quit whenever he wants to, but wait a minute, bro. Yes, you do have all those rights, but you also signed up to be a team member, and you owe something to the team. You owe a sense of responsibility and just awareness of your position.
Why is it that we give passes to other entities? Let me say this differently. Why is it that we give passes to other cultures, but a lot of times we don't give passes to Black men? And the reason why that I want to say that really quickly is because if we're sitting up here talking about, and I have had these conversations, I'm going to go here. Let's just say that we're talking about the LGBT community. Okay. And so, we're having a conversation with somebody, and somebody feels like that they exist inside of a certain space, and that they have feelings for somebody or whatever, and so that they don't want to. And these are true stories that I've heard, right, of someone not wanting to, share their real spaces because that they're going to be attacked, right? Here is an athlete who's making a lot of money. And so maybe there's a space to whereas he does not feel like he has an open forum to be able to share and express himself because people are going to have a certain, thought process. So in other communities, we have people who, if we have a person who steps outside of who they should be, we give a pass. If we have, let's just say we have a woman who is trying to feed her baby, and I'm going all the way here because I'm so sick of people just not sometimes giving us as Black men a pass. I'm gonna go ahead and say it tonight. It's space to whereas if a black man has a challenge in an area, we hold their feet so close to the fire, but we give so many other cultures and so many other areas a pass, or an okay, or this is what they're going through. I'm sorry, James. I see your hand. You
No,
kind of
keep
know
going.
what I
No,
know.
keep
You
going.
know where I'm going with it. I might not be saying in the most
No.
political manner,
No.
but
Keep going.
because I don't like that, because it's kind of like, there are spaces that us as black men deal with that nobody else understands. We deal with what everybody else in the gender of a male deals with, and then we deal with another layer, and that other layer, it 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 kind of spiders out into so many different places, to whereas people want to bring it back to, okay, well, you know what, well, why would you want to do that on the stage, or why would you want to, you're making this amount of money, or what? Right? What was his thought process? Does anybody understand that?
No.
Does anybody know what was he thinking?
Right.
We know what you're thinking. What was he thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Did he get?
is part of the reason that this is so weird for us, is because we don't know what he was thinking, and what he did impacted his team, and so that's
He's accountable for that. He's accountable for that.
Right. So I think that's where the difficulty in the balance. But I receive everything you just said, and it's absolutely true. So check out this comment that my man Josh Gamble made. He said the NFL players aren't exempt from having mental health issues. Yes, they need to perform at a higher level, but perhaps the NFL is not offering players the support they need. The NFL is a business, and they are looking to make money. He said, I don't know how it is in the black community, let alone in the professional sports arena. Hold on. I missed it. Professional sports world, but in the regular world, it has been a long road for people to accept mental illness and an issue. And that's just the first step. So finding help for yourself is difficult these past years with COVID and everything else. I agree. That's definitely something to consider. Look, we all are under a lot of stress, right? And there's a lot going on. And Elam, something happened that I was watching the news. I didn't get a chance to plug it into the slide deck today, right? But here I'm here in Atlanta. I know you're in Atlanta too, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So on New Year's Eve, a couple went into the gas station. They were on their way out to the party, went to the gas station, and the young lady, she's wearing her outfit. It was looking. I saw them telling the story, and I looked at her. I can see like she's probably good looking, right? Like she probably wearing that dress just right. And they went into the gas station, and a guy said something to the man, and then I believe he said something to the woman, and the guy was like, hold on, that's my girl, like chill, right? This guy grabbed his jacket and like began to just like wail on the guy, right? And no, he did that after the guy smacked his woman on the behind, going out the door, like pow, right? Now, so as a man, right? This is where I'm going with what you just said. As a man, we are under a lot of these kind of stressful moments, right? If somebody smacks your woman on the behind, that a fight has to happen at that point. Right. Like you can't just say, "Hey, honey, just get in the car." Like you have to go over there and defend. And my man, by the time it was over, this guy jumped out. His homeboy came from around the corner, jumped in it, and somebody else. But before he was over, my man was on his way to the hospital, a bloody mess, and this is the kind of like, and all they was doing just going to the gas station to get some snacks and get some, refill before they go to the party, and he found himself in a position where he's all bloody, and he had to step into that position as a man and defend his woman. So these things are real. This is a real world and a real difficult world. And they were an African American couple as well.
I'll leave that to you, James. I'll leave that one to you.
again, like I said, the expectations for us in our society is a lot different than for other cultures and nationalities. If you want to even take a step further, just look at the Deion Sanders, the head coach of Jackson State, being able to sign a top 1 recruit, in the country coming out of high school, and he was scrutinized. Was deemed vilified for his methods and his tactics of actually accomplishing that. There wasn't no attaboy. There wasn't no, man, congratulations. There wasn't a lot of good job. There was, man, he must be cheating, or they're going to ruin these kids' lives, or they're not going to get a great education. Last time I checked, man, Jackson State, man, was a HBCU that has done very well.
Yes.
Right. And so that's the thing. When people talk about the ABs and us and the things that we see, that's the thing that we carry with us. Not just this story, but the stories of our ancestors, our past, and a lot of the things that go along with that. The inequality, the lack of parity that is in our society when it comes to Black men. We carry that stuff with us. We are on guard. Some people say that it's almost like PTSD, but to a sense, if you want to say big T, little t, whatever T you want to use, it's like that because we have to be on guard. We have to be our biggest ally and our advocate, because a lot of times there are some people who will not speak up for us.
Yeah.
Only until it suits them. And that's
Fact.
just the truth. And so when we see a guy that is doing what he does on a sideline, playing on Sunday, who is taking a lot of hits to the body and a lot of hits to the head and things that along that nature, before you comment, man, step back a little bit. Look at the picture. Look at the whole thing in context. Don't just jump on the Adam Schefter bandwagon or the Jay Glazer or the Michael Strahan or the No, step back, and from a human point of view, put 2 and 2 together, and I promise you, more than likely, it's going to come up with 4.
Yeah,
if you can.
But let me say this really quickly, Kelvin. I know that I don't know how much longer you're going to go for this evening, but let me just say this: we need to, in the process of us, we're trying to normalize so many different things, so many different areas that have not been unpacked, have not been expressed and talked and walked through, have not been counseled through, or whatever. And I really want us to take a moment of just understand, if there was one message that I just wanted to send just for this evening, is this: that we're unpacking a lot of things right now, all at the same time. And I'm going to say this particularly for my Black men. We are unpacking a lot of things. We're unpacking, see, the upbringing that every other man has had is what we had. Then add in you're Black, right? Add in, less than, and all this, then other places that we had to kind of like find our way and stuff like that. And so, in that space that has existed, we have to understand that what's coming out in front of everybody right now is, people are just expressing themselves, and sometimes they're going to get it wrong. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know. What I know, what I had to learn after, college and masters and fatherhood and husband or whatever, you know what? Like, when I'm messed up, I need to call James. So I'm saying, like, when I don't know, When I feel some type of way. Let me tell you something. Getting married at 25, playboy, just been out here in the field, shaking and moving, doing the thing, whatever. Hold on, Kelvin. I know you said frat. What frat you in, Kelvin? What frat you in? Okay. All right. Never mind. We was almost cool. So, but real talk, Divine Nine love wise, right?
Yeah, which way you go?
January 5th. We'll be on deck first. Kappas are on deck first every year. So,
those guys.
Okay, but no. Coming from that space and then getting married at 24, 25 years old, and not even understanding the way that I felt. Right, my parents will be married 50 years this year. Did I know how they did it? No. I had no. Now I had the icon of it. I just didn't know how they did it. What our responsibility is along this way right now is to kind of share more with people. How do you do this? How do you matriculate through this point? Even with AB, in the future, how do you navigate through that, James? When you're feeling some type of way, what do you do? When you want to cry, do you go ahead and cry? Or do you just kind of keep it to yourself and suppress it and it pops out 10 years later? When you have sexual urges and drives and you want to, go tag this one and go smash this one and smash that one. How do you not go have sex with that person? What does that look like? Because to everybody else, just like me not eating that brownie, because, I'm slim and sexy. I know it's not. I could just say, no, don't eat the brownie. Right? But there's a whole bunch of people out there that's going to eat the brownie.
They're eating the brownie.
They're eating it. Right? So everybody's challenge is different. I just think that, if we can just on these forums, just make sure that we express the how. That's one of the reasons why that me and James have always clicked. Kelvin, you don't know this is just in the past, is because we walk down the path of how are people going to do this? Here's the problem. How do you walk through? Okay, that was stupid, AB. That was stupid. In the future, for anybody else that might be feeling some type of way on the sideline with their coach, how do you think? How do you walk through this moment? Who's your lifeline call before you take off your shirt and just?
Sure. Yeah, there's just not enough of us having that place where you have a group of men or an individual man that you can tell anything to. There's because we, I remember I was a part of a group, a men's group, and they used to call it back the truck up, and just dump it, and having men in a who will listen to you as you unload the truck. You back the truck up and dump it off, and will not just kind of like saying what you say, Elam. They will support you, will be that place where you can go before you wig out and go to a place beyond where you can't come back from, and it's so necessary. So I'm glad to have you here on the show to even have these conversations. Definitely, I really appreciate it, both of y'all. Definitely. All right, we got somebody. Gail, we got Gail. She dropped a comment. She says, "So you think that if AB has a good support system that will take care of his anger issues, immaturity, and bad choices?"
Okay, so James, go ahead. I'm gonna get on that. Go ahead.
I mean, a support system is there to. I mean, there are people that are in Alcoholics Anonymous that have great support systems, but still, that person has to do the work.
Right.
They have to work on their anger issues. They have to go to treatment. They have to get their necessary dosages, whether it be pharmacological. Well, okay, Kelvin, you told me stop using all these big words and everything like that. So
Keep it simple.
whether it be medicine or pill wise, or whether it be
that was a big word though. That was
hey, look, I'm going to flex, man, on my degree and what I do.
Come on, sir.
They'll see. I mean, y'all get all these mumble rappers and everything like that. What about me? But anyway, so my point being is that you have to do the work. You have to take the time and hit after it every day. Just like he's an athlete and he works on his body, he trains, he works on his craft, he looks at game tape so he can be proficient in his sport, in what he does. That's the same thing. You working with your emotions, you identifying the triggers, and then finding suitable coping strategies to work through those things. Guess what? A lot of things that trigger you are going to continue to trigger you, but it's how you respond to it. It has nothing to do with the support system. The support system is there to aid you on so that you can be better in those places, but he has to do the work though.
And you know what? Let me take this. Oh, we can go in a whole separate area, but I'm James. I love how you said that. What James just said is the microcosm of dating. Okay. The person that you choose is a compliment. It's up to you to do the work initially, right? They are not your half, your everything. Okay, let me rewind that back. They are not your better half. They are not your everything. You are your everything. And it's your responsibility to get you right first. Having the right people around you. Hey, you hang around 4 broke people, you will be the 5th. Okay, so we want to recognize that inner circle does have some significance, but guess what? It's up to you first to figure out you first and kind of move the path forward from there. And then guess what? The other person comes along and there's a compliment. So Kelvin, to your point and to what James just kind of bringing that back of, you know what? No, your inner circle is not everything. It's a compliment, right? Your significant other is not your everything. They're a compliment.
Yeah. Or at least they should be. At least they should be. She said, look, can you fix it this late in the game?
You can. Yes. You can do what the thing is, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Now, there's research on that, and again, let's nerd out a little bit, people. The brain has a level of plasticity about it. That means the ability to change. Now, the thing is that the older you get, it takes more energy and effort to change your brain and your mind about the certain actions that you're doing, but it can be accomplished. What they've found is that children who are younger, it's easy to work with them and help them develop suitable habits because their brain hasn't been crystallized on certain matters. But you can do this, but you have to have the desire, the will to want to change. And granted, something that I see in our communities and our societies, especially as we're in this, I'm loving me and I'm for me and I'm so connected with myself and I'm all about this, is that people want others to accept their BS. They desire that. Accept me for my BS and what I represent. And that is not the way. It gets back to the point of we have to be accountable. And we have to have a level of self-awareness as well as emotional intelligence to know how us being us affects another person. When we are able to exist and have that level of empathy, then things may become a little bit different. But until we grasp that and decide that, look, I know what I'm doing is hurting somebody. Let me work on myself so it doesn't hurt that person as much or at all. If we don't develop that type of mentality, if we just want to remain self-centered, then yes, we will continue to be that way. Yes, we will see a million memes before 9 a.m. about, man, this, that, and the other. So that's where we're at. Just being honest. That's where we're at.
Yeah. You know, I can't think of the term, right? But there's this term My sister told me that my nephew, he plays football, college football, right? And he was injured. He got an injury, and I think he got an injury to his thigh, and the injury, I believe it like got infected or something, right? But it actually began to heal on the outside. The skin and all of that on the outside began to heal, but it was unhealed on the inside, right? And so he kept complaining that his leg was still hurting. He was limping. He was like, but to look at it, you would never think that there was anything wrong with it, right? But he knew that there was something wrong with it, right? He ended up having to go back to the doctor, go back and have another surgery, and have them cut the wound open and treat the wound from the inside. Okay, they had to treat the wound on the ends and look at it. You say, well, why are they doing all of that? The wound looks fine, it looks healed, but it wasn't. It was infected, and if you don't with that kind of thing, if you don't actually, they don't treat that wound on the inside, the infection will go down to your bone, and you'll end up losing that limb. He could actually lose his leg because of that unhealed infection, right? And I really believe that we have a lot of people, man, who look healed on the outside. There's a lot of people who look like they got it all together on the outside, right? They look clean, they look fresh, they might have money, they might not have money, they might have position, like they look like they good, right? But there's a lot of people who are dealing with unhealed emotions up under that smooth exterior, that unhealed wounds that have never really been addressed. And so you can go and play for the Patriots, right? After you messed up with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not with the Raiders. With the Raiders. Remember.
With the Raiders. Yes. Okay.
Because he was with the Raiders too, yeah.
He was with the Raiders. You can go to the next team. You can go to the next girlfriend. You can get the next husband, right? But unless you address what's really going on the inside, up underneath all that other stuff that looks like healing, then you never really become what you can really become.
And add to that, Kelvin. Ignorance travels in packs. So you can find a couple or a pack of individuals who agree with the garbage that you are selling all day, any day. That's the interesting thing about social media, the clubhouses, the Instagrams. You'll find people who think like you.
Yeah.
And you'll sometimes you can develop this mentality. It's us against the world. It's us against them. Especially, you know how I knew that? When they started making comments that pedophilia was okay. There's people out there that are pushing forward that pedophilia is something to be normalized. And I say to myself, wow, where in the world do you get that many people together to agree on said topic? And so why people don't change? Why don't people have that intrinsic motivation to do differently? Because you can find somebody that's going to go and agree with the garbage that you're selling.
Yeah. So I think what this conversation is it's both. It's having a place where if you're having some struggles, having some people that you can just be honest with that you're struggling, and at the same time having that person be able to say, listen, you my guy, trust me with your whatever it is that you're dealing with.
True.
I can trust you with whatever it is I'm dealing with. Right. but at the same time, we still hold each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
We say, hold, I'm here for you, but I'm not going to ride on your bull and just like let you just go off the rails. Why? Because I'm you my brother, and I'm supporting you, and I want to see you win. And we can't win if we don't address both sides of the coin. Go ahead, Elon.
No, I when you were speaking, it sounded, and I'm gonna make sure I go back and listen to this portion right here, because the way that you just shared that information of how somebody can say, what direction that what direction that they should go in. I think that when it comes to just relationships as a whole, I would just want to challenge everybody for a season, for those that are particularly, maybe wanting to be in a relationship, or that they, are looking to evolve inside of the space of building with somebody else. How can somebody love you? And how somebody loves you comes from an understanding of how do you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Unequivocally, these are the expectations. This is what's necessary for you. This is what's necessary. It's kind of like a building block, right? This is what's necessary for you.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier, a couple of minutes ago, when James was talking about, treating the wound from the inside out, because that's really where I'm going with in this space.
Mm-hmm.
The treating the wound from the inside out is that if you have desired to be in a relationship with someone else from a significant other perspective, and it has not jumped off, we're going to have to start with the ground, with the ground level, for lack of just time or whatever. The common denominator is you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So just like that person who had that comment up about how AB is responsible for, he's accountable, whatever it just went out. I was about to read it and it went out. But whatever, it is personal accountability and responsibility at the end of the day. AB is wrecking AB's life. Great.
Mm-hmm.
In football. Let's look at dating. It is your personal accountability and responsibility at the end of the day. You are wrecking your life. If you're constantly running into the 7.5 billion people on this planet that don't happen to date you the way you want to be dated, it is your personal accountability and responsibility at the end of the day. You are wrecking your life.
Mm-hmm.
In the dating world, we can talk about AB on the football field,
mm-hmm.
but in the dating world, hold on, let me read it again. It is your personal accountability and responsibility at the end of the day, because you're wrecking your life. Because at the end of the day, if you have been dating multiple people and you have not been able to link up, you're the common denominator, not the 7.5, not the 7.49 billion people on the planet. It's you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if you need to sit down in 2022 and get yourself right. Read, listen to James, listen to Kelvin, listen to me. How about this? Don't listen to none of us. Go listen to somebody.
True. That's true.
We're here as auxiliary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But if you're in AB was in a relationship with the NFL and they broke up
Mm-hmm.
in front of everybody. Right? Somebody was not holding themselves accountable.
True.
Somebody was not being responsible at the end of the day. I didn't put this sentence up here. I don't know, Gail Nelson, so thankful for you. But that statement can be held for AB, and it also can be held inside of statements for people that are inside of dating. Am I saying this wrong? I don't
No,
want no, I don't want to lose no friends,
no.
but
No,
I just want to, because that statement goes so far beyond.
sure it does. Sure it does. And really, like it doesn't stop at dating. It starts that goes literally all into every part of your life because you are the source.
Mhm.
You are from which everything else comes. Everything that happens, the decisions that we make are the decisions that we make, and that's the way it goes.
My last little comment on that
Mhm.
is that I agree 100% with Elam is saying, because I know I can think of a bunch of people who would have a rebuttal to, well, it's just, I mean, I'm just the way the conversation goes is I just the way I am, and there may be only one person in the world that may be able to work with me or to able to deal with me and all of yeah. You tell yourself that after maybe year 2 or year 5 or year 7 out of being out there and things aren't popping off the way you want to.
Mhm.
But I also want to say, in the relationship between the NFL and AB, the NFL knew who AB was.
They did.
They knew, and they
Mhm.
still decided we're going to go through with this. 3 teams after Pittsburgh said we're going to still go along with this. So AB is him, and yeah, there is some responsibility he has in this,
Mhm.
but the NFL does too,
Mhm.
because you decided to go and work with a person who does what he does.
Oh, look at relationships. Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
I could take this for the next 2 hours. Like, think about what you just said, sir.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's a relationship. The relationship between the NFL and AB was NFL, you knew what you was getting. AB, you knew what you was getting. And if you didn't know, it was your responsibility to research. And NFL, it was your responsibility to research.
Mhm.
Right? And so we can come back, and once one side does today, it looked like AB did the NFL wrong
Mhm.
in the relationship, right?
Mhm.
He did her wrong today. What's behind that?
Mhm.
Right? Did you do your research before you committed?
Mhm.
Did you do your research before you committed?
Yeah.
It looks like that UAB did NFL her wrong. That's wrong. And you shouldn't have done that, AB. Did you know who you was getting with?
Yeah. Did you know?
Did you
Did you know
did
his
you
background?
know? Did you know the background? Did you know the generational curses?
Mm.
Right? Did you research prior to? Did you give your level of expectation and see whether that person could actually be, whether they qualify? Did he qualify for you?
They had a
Mm.
negative
That's
score of 400.
that's on you. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, I know how he walked off, and that was foul, and that was wrong.
Mhm.
Shouldn't have done that to you because
Mhm.
you loved him and you gave him a higher level of being.
Mhm.
You didn't know any of that?
Mm. Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah.
Were you in counsel? Were you in counsel with her?
Mm.
So that when she benched you, you did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
But
be breaking stuff
no,
down
no,
now.
no, no. But it's funny too, because isn't it funny how after he left the one team, there was another team willing and open, arms open to come on over here.
So you saw the breakup before.
You saw
Okay.
it.
So you saw how they broke up? You saw how they broke up with the Steelers? Okay. Did you
Yeah.
see how the Raiders, how he left her?
Oh, that ain't gonna happen to me. That ain't
It
gonna
was
happen to
him.
me.
He left the Steelers and then he left the Raiders too. You didn't see
Mm.
that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But again, 60 to 70% of all second marriages end in divorce.
Mhm.
So this isn't nothing new.
Yeah. They say the more times you get married, the more times you're likely to get married. Yes, sir.
You got any more comments for tonight? I gotta run. I gotta.
Yeah. We gonna
I ain't messing with y'all. James sent me this text. I said, okay, all right, it's James. I'm on it. So,
all right.
Oh man.
We got a couple of comments came through. My girl, lady Sharice, she said, "You are your everything, period, and first. The partner is a compliment."
yeah, agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when people say, oh, go ahead.
No, my man Josh, he said they were willing to accept a certain amount of risk in order to go to the Super Bowl. Sorry. So Tom Brady and the Bucks can go to the Super Bowl.
And they went and they won.
Yeah.
He got a ring. He got a ring, and he's a seven-time Pro Bowl. That's the only reason why that I'm upset at him, because you probably could have gone Hall of Fame.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but now it's a wrap for you. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
and they were likely to go back to the Super Bowl. They're likely to go back to the Super Bowl and win.
Yes, and easy on that win.
I think he a Chiefs fan. He's a Chiefs fan.
Is that right?
Easy on that, sir.
Hey.
All good.
Hey, with Tom Brady, all things are possible.
Oh gosh.
Look, I witnessed it.
We might get around 2 this year. That's okay. I mean, we looking good. They looking good.
All right, listen, I'm gonna let y'all go, fellas. I know we've been on for a while, but final thoughts on these. Just I guess if we wrap it up, it is the state of men and how we deal with our thoughts. So, because we got several situations where men are taking certain actions and having certain ways of thinking and making different kind of choices. And so, give me you guys give me your thoughts, your final thoughts on this kind of this conversation tonight, and tell us how we can follow you, what you got going on, and how people can plug in with you.
Go ahead, Elam.
Well, first of all, Kelvin, just I appreciate you even giving me an opportunity to just come on this platform tonight. This is our first time meeting. I mean, I guess we clicked from second two, right? Of just coming on in. And James, thank you so much for just and Kelvin. The reason why that we click, because me and James click, so I know if he not gonna put me in hostile territory.
No.
And even if he does, I can hold my own. But those that don't know me, my name is Elam B. King, author of a book, Understanding a Man, Empowering Women with Tools for Lasting Relationships. So you can find it on Amazon and Audible. And you can also follow me on Elam B. King on Instagram, Elam B. King also on just social media across the board. But also, I have a book coming out right now called When His Soul Cries. It is actually an anthology with myself along with 5 other men, just speaking about the different things that we've gone through in life. And that's the reason why that I think in the very beginning, Kelvin, you heard me say, okay, well, somebody being a man being sensitive or whatever, and just kind of really getting an understanding of that, because that's just a space that we have just been very ignorant in.
Yeah.
You can still be a masculine man at the end of the day and drop a tear.
Okay, but y'all ain't taking no pictures, are you, with yourself crying?
No, we're not doing all that, because those are things in the privacy of your own home. But here's the thing: the understanding of your laughter is the same understanding that we're gonna have to walk to me crying. Right? Because my tears might be because I had a great day. My tears might be because I received something from my spouse that from my wife that took me to another level. My tears might
Yeah.
also be that I'm upset right now. And here's the thing. Look, y'all ain't gonna sign up for the rest of the alterations for lifestyles and not give black men their moment. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna give us the same moment you give everybody else and every other culture to transform into somebody different or to some things different. So if we happen to cry, we can still beat your ass and cry. Okay, so we can still be holding down the household and paying the bills and beat your ass and cry, right? So and I'm kind of being candid with it, but I'm being for real because there's a transition that's happening across the board, and I'm just asking everybody to just as we're continuing to want to develop more of our communities, a portion of that is going to have to be number one to remain in council, and that's the reason why that I do what I do. But then also just recognize that what you were taught, a lot of that is not real. And I don't know that I don't. James can give you the curriculum words for that. I'm telling y'all, like what we were taught is not the same, and so that's the reason why that I'm out here doing what I do, being able to partner with individuals like yourself. When the soul cries, you can pre-order your copy or at elanbking.com. And hey, I'm just looking forward to just continuing to be out here with you guys and just trying to expand the journey that we're walking on here.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Brother James.
Once again, Kelvin, like I said before, thanks again, man, for putting me on the first show of the year 2022.
Yes, sir.
Man, definitely was awesome. I enjoy your consistency, whether it's the Monday nights or whether it's the 12 noon Eastern Standard Time clubhouses. Man, I'm here for all of it to chime in with Carla and Yolanda and all of them, man, at that space. But what I want to off, and by the way, I run the Mind of a Man podcast. We have new episodes on YouTube and all popular podcasting platforms each Friday. There will be one on this Friday. I don't know what I'll be talking about, but you'll see it. Now, let's get to it. The words I'll leave you guys with is content without context is dangerous. And I'm going to say that again. Content without context is very dangerous. It's alluding to something what Elon was speaking on because he was on a similar paths where knowing why a person does the things that they do, why they operate in the spaces that they are. I think a lot of us, we have this idea that we all think the same. What we do makes us good people. But just because you operate in a manner or a way that is suitable for you does not necessarily make you someone that is agreeable, that is able to work with someone else. One of the greatest things I heard tonight was, hey, look, you can be a great person. That's cool. Doesn't make you a great mate. It doesn't make you a great partner. I love that because we've got to get beyond that. Devon, cool. Great speaker. Megan, talented, great actress. AB, super superior athlete at what he does. But does that make him a great teammate? Does that make Megan and Devon a great partnership? It doesn't. So let's normalize that fact right there. Let's not just get so caught up.
I'm gonna post that. I'm posting that tonight or tomorrow. I'm just letting you know. I'm stealing it. I'm not giving you any recognition.
Hey, you got that. You got that, bro. Let's normalize that because I think we fall so quickly for these moments of what the optics shows us about a situation, particularly, and we're lost. And our progeny, the generations that come after us, they are watching the modeled behavior and they're confused. So what do? They go and they make up their own rules, which is halfway, I don't want to say crazy, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait for this slow accident to occur, but you just go ahead. And at the end of the day, we have only ourselves to hold responsible and accountable for that because we had an opportunity to do something about it, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't speak on it. Appreciate you again, Kelvin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I can really echo both of your sentiments. And listen, I appreciate that in 2022, first show of the year. Look, we don't have to wait for NBC to invite us in to have a conversation.
Right.
Right. We don't even have to wait for BET because we don't have enough numbers. They don't see the relevance of what we have to say. But we can create our own platforms and have these conversations where we hit it from all the angles.
Yeah.
You know, listen, I'm actually very happy that we don't all agree on every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who needs to be around somebody that you agree with everything they say?
Right.
No. We got different perspectives. That we come from different walks of life. We got different. We're all educated, but we all have it from different angles. You know, and I don't have to be like you. You don't have to be like me. We can walk our walk and support one another through all of this craziness that we're experiencing. And so I hope that the people who watch this show see the value in each one of our perspectives. You know, grab that kernel of truth and just chew on it. Chew on that. You know. And I think it's going to be all sweet for all of us, man. So I definitely appreciate each one of y'all coming through, brother Elam King. You guys make sure y'all follow Elam King. He's out here doing that work, and I appreciate it. He's doing that work. I love it. And my man James Bush having the manversations. I love it. Love it. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys go out there and follow them as they do the work. So. Fellas, thank y'all so much. Audience, thank y'all so much. Till next time, peace
and
love. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.